My Blink camera detected this motion in the middle of the night. Please give me a logical explanation for what that cloud smoke-looking thing could be. That's a bug on the lens. I see it all the time with my security cameras, when a very small insect, like a spider, a gnat, or a moth, walks directly across the camera's lens. It is so close that the camera cannot focus on it. The insect appears as a large, out-of-focus, translucent, and often ghostly shape. If the camera is using infrared for night vision, the IR light will reflect strongly off the bug, making it appear as a bright, glowing, cloud-like object moving across the screen. Found under the passenger seat of my car, which used to be a rental. What is it? It was found connected together like in the first few pictures. This is probably a key holder, but two broken ones that were connected together. The logos and pattern match those made by the company EK USA. These are key retainers, often used by businesses that manage a lot of keys like a car rental agency. A key would be attached to the retainer, which could then be clipped onto a belt or a keyboard. This looks like two of them have broken and were then linked together and were subsequently lost under the car seat. These are stretchy loop sort of things on top of a dresser. I feel like this has to be a very quick and easy one. It's a wall-mounted eyewear rack. This is a simple and stylish way to store and organize multiple pairs of sunglasses or eyeglasses. The wooden board is mounted on the wall, and the stretchy leather or elastic loops are for holding the glasses. You would fold your glasses and slide one of the temple arms through a loop, and they will hang securely and be easily accessible. The link shows a similar one on Amazon. I think it may be some kind of military mortar or something. The tube is made of fiberglass with a hole on top. It was buried in our backyard in Vernon, Texas. The shiny orange stuff was inside it, along with small rocks. It's a tank that's part of a water deionizing or water softening system. These tanks are often made of a fiberglass-wrapped polymer liner. The shiny orange stuff inside is the ion exchange resin beads, which are the media that actually softens or deionizes the water. This is the main media tank from a residential or commercial water treatment system that has been discarded and buried in the yard, likely after being replaced. The small rocks would be a gravel underbedding that supports the resin. What is this thing that came with my mouse? It has a USB-C on one side and a USB Type-A female on the other side. This looks like a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Many modern laptops only have the newer, smaller USB-C ports. If your new mouse came with a wireless receiver that has the older, larger USB-A plug, this adapter would be included so you can plug the receiver into your new laptop. The funny thing is, as the commenter notes, you'll need another cable to actually use it for charging or data transfer with a standard USB-A device, but its primary purpose here is to adapt the mouse's receiver. I have no clue. My job had Employee Appreciation Day and gave out bags of candy and toys, and I got this thing in the bag. It's a tazo thrower, or a disc shooter. This is a simple mechanical toy. You would place a small flat plastic disc, a tazo or a similar disc, into the slot of the launcher. By squeezing the trigger or the sides of the toy, you would launch the disc, making it fly like a small frisbee. They are a very common and inexpensive toy, the kind often included in party favor bags, cereal boxes, or, in this case, an Employee Appreciation Day goodie bag. This is a wood cone with a spiral notch. There's a faint part number on it. I typed it into Google, and it comes back as a wood plug with some references to the petroleum industry. The link provided shows something very similar. These are bullet hole plugs, a piece of emergency equipment used on life rafts or small boats, especially during World War II. If the inflatable raft or a wooden boat was punctured by a bullet or shrapnel, a crew member would use one of these tapered wooden plugs to plug the hole and stop the leak. The conical shape allowed it to be hammered into a variety of different sized holes to create a temporary seal. The spiral notch might be to help it grip or to allow water to swell the wood for a tighter fit. Basement of a 1920 home. What are these for? They are hooked to a ceiling wire. That's an old 1.5 volt A-cell battery. These were a type of large, single-cell dry battery used in the early 20th century for low-voltage applications before modern battery sizes became standardized. As the commenter suggests, it was very likely used to power the doorbell in the house. The low-voltage wiring for the doorbell would have been powered by this battery. It is a fascinating piece of early residential electrical history. This is a ring my girlfriend found. I can't read the 3 symbols on the band. It seems like it might be copper or a copper alloy. I'm aware that it's a coke ring, but I'd like a more in-depth answer. While it could be used for illicit purposes, a wild guess here is that this is an antique perfume or vinaigrette ring. In the 1700s and 1800s, cities often smelled very bad. People would wear rings like this one with a small, lidded compartment. Inside, they would keep a tiny piece of sponge soaked in perfume or in a vinaigrette, a mixture of vinegar and aromatic herbs. They could then hold the ring up to their nose to mask unpleasant odors. Later, they were also used as keepsake or poison rings. Found it in my car. While cleaning my car, I found this piece of scrap. Should I get rid of it, or would I need it later? It is a shock or a damper for the glove box. Its purpose is to make the glove box door open slowly and smoothly, rather than just falling open when you unlatch it. It is a small hydraulic or pneumatic strut that provides resistance. If you found it loose in your car, it means it has become disconnected. Your glove box will still work without it, but it will likely slam open now. You can probably clip it back into place if you can find where it attaches. Found in storage in Maine. Everyone I have asked is totally stumped. This has been a question for years. Please help. This is for launching clay pigeons. It is a handheld clay target thrower. In the sport of clay pigeon shooting, a clay target is launched into the air for the shooter to aim at. While many clubs use large automatic machines, this simple manual thrower can be used by an individual. You would place a clay target on the end of the thrower. By swinging the thrower with a whip-like motion and then stopping abruptly, the target is flung into the air, simulating the flight of a bird. It's a simple and portable way to practice shooting. This is a pool of light-style resin with a pebble in it. The piece has a metal rim, and the pebble-like object in the center can move around a bit. The entire thing is about the size of a quarter. That is a grain of mustard seed. In the mid-1950s and 60s, these were popular, worn as necklaces and earrings. The design is based on a biblical passage from the New Testament, where Jesus tells his disciples that if they had faith the size of a mustard seed, they could move mountains. This pendant, with a single tiny mustard seed preserved in resin or glass, is a Christian religious symbol representing the power of even a small amount of faith. What is this seasoning? I bought it in Japan a while ago, and ChatGPT can't seem to find it online. I just really want to buy more of this. This is Meat Hanamasa all-purpose spice for meat. Hanamasa is a chain of wholesale and retail supermarkets in Japan that specializes in meat and professional food supplies. This is their own brand, all-purpose meat seasoning blend. The image provided shows the exact packaging. Knowing the brand and product name should make it much easier to search for it on online import food stores. What is this particular kind of knife used for? It kind of reminds me of a really small bread knife, maybe for baguettes. This is a Henkel's International Classic 5-inch serrated utility knife. The serrated blade is designed to deftly slice through foods that have a hard or tough exterior and a soft interior. It's perfect for cutting things like tomatoes, sausages, crusty bread rolls, and cheese. As the description notes, it's a small, versatile knife that is also perfect for taking on a picnic. It's a general-purpose utility knife, not for one single specific task. What is this rolly thingy? It's been sitting on a desk at work for a few weeks. It only rolls forward and back, and not very well. It's to strengthen your grip. This is another version of a gyroscopic wrist and grip exerciser. You use a string or another method to get the inner rotor spinning. You then hold the device in your hand and use a circular motion of your wrist to accelerate the rotor to a very high speed. The gyroscopic forces created provide a powerful isometric workout for your grip, wrist, and forearm muscles. The rolling it does on the desk is not its intended use. Foreign matter in sea salt. We bought a 1.4 kilos bucket of Malden salt, and there's stuff in it that we can't identify. Some looks like bits of bone. Malden sea salt isn't fully refined, so this is likely mineral traces of calcium, seaweed, or tiny shells. It could just be from the salt rock itself, which isn't always pure. It doesn't look like bone, especially since some of the small salt crystals show traces of it. Unrefined or minimally processed sea salts often contain small amounts of other natural minerals and marine materials, which are harmless and are a sign of the salt's natural origin. If you're concerned, you can contact the manufacturer. Found in car. Are they trackers? My partner and I found these in his car today, and we're not sure what they are. We Googled it, but we don't fully understand how they work. Not trackers. Those are NFC tags. NFC stands for Near Field Communication. These are small, passive tags that can be programmed to perform a specific action when you tap your smartphone to them. For example, you could have one in your car that, when tapped, automatically launches your navigation app, starts your favorite music playlist, and sends a text message to your partner saying you're on your way home. The commenter warns not to tap your phone to it if you don't know who programmed it, as a security precaution. What is this I found in a book I was reading? This is an RF tag that triggers an alarm if one tries to walk out with it without paying. It is a type of electronic article surveillance, EAS, tag used by libraries and bookstores for loss prevention. The thin, flexible tag is a resonant circuit. If an item with an active tag is passed through the security gates at the exit, it will set off an alarm. The librarian or cashier deactivates the tag at checkout by using a special demagnetizing pad. This one was likely missed during the checkout process. Found inside a ripe papaya while cutting it open. What is this? It's a papaya seed undergoing a germination process. This is a phenomenon known as vivipary, where a seed begins to sprout while it is still inside the parent fruit. The warm, moist environment inside a ripe papaya can sometimes be the perfect condition to trigger a seed to start growing. The small, white, root-like structure is the embryonic root, the radicle, emerging from the seed. It is a natural, if somewhat unusual, occurrence and is harmless. What are these handle thingies? The metal is thin and bendable where it meets the handle. The ridges are indents on the opposite side. This is a Hungarian noodles maker, specifically for making a type of small, rustic dumpling or noodle called gnocchi, similar to German Spätzle. The device is a small hopper or tray with holes in the bottom. You would place this over a pot of boiling water. You then put the soft noodle dough into the hopper and slide the top part back and forth. This pushes small bits of the dough through the holes, and they drop directly into the boiling water to cook. The link shows a similar gnocchi sagato. Found in a free box at a garage sale. It looks like it belongs on a stemmed wine glass. Why? It's a coaster for use with any cup with a stem or a handle. The part where it hangs off the cup is for carrying it. The main purpose is to soak up any drips of condensation that might run down the side of a cold glass, preventing it from leaving a ring on your table. You can carry the glass and the coaster together, and when you set the glass down, the coaster is already in place. They are a clever, if somewhat uncommon, type of coaster. What is the rhyme that matches with radish on my daughter's homework? All the other pictures matched with their partner rhyme, but radish and these plants had us stumped. The answer is not a rhyme, but a pun or a play on words. The picture is not of a radish, but of a beet, and the other picture is of wheat. So the rhyming pair is beet and wheat. It's a slightly tricky question for a kindergartner, but that is the intended answer. My friend refuses to tell me what this is. I have no idea. I tried Google Lens. It's heavy metal. This is a Graston tool, or a similar instrument used for soft tissue mobilization. It is a tool used by physical therapists, chiropractors, and massage therapists. The technique involves using the specially shaped metal tool to rub or scrape the skin over a muscle. This is claimed to help break up scar tissue and fascial adhesions, reduce inflammation, and promote healing. It is a specific type of manual therapy known as instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization, IASTM. Is there a name for this font typography style for the letters in this Apple Pencil box? A person with a background in advertising lettering explains that this looks like a calligraffiti style, but it is almost certainly custom lettering for the packaging, not a standard typeface or font that you can download. Calligraffiti is a blend of calligraphy and graffiti, characterized by expressive, flowing, and often abstract letter forms. For a high-end product like the Apple Pencil, the branding and packaging would use custom, hand-drawn lettering created by a designer specifically for that product to give it a unique and artistic feel. This is a strange, spiky ball in the toilet. Is it an amoeba? A sea urchin? Help! This must have really hurt on the way out, but it is a cocklebur. A cocklebur is the seed pod or burr of the xanthium plant, a common weed. The burr is covered with stiff, hooked spines that are designed to catch on the fur of animals or the clothing of people to be dispersed. The commenter correctly distinguishes it from a burdock burr, which is more spherical with denser, smaller hooks. How this ended up in the toilet is a mystery, but it is a very common plant burr. Why is a D-ring drilled into a concrete curb randomly in a parking lot? I've been thinking about it all day. This is a classic example of an object whose original purpose is lost, leaving room for creative and humorous speculation. The top comment, "So you can carry it like a stylish handbag," is a joke. In reality, this D-ring was likely an anchor point for something that is no longer there. It could have been a tie-down point for a temporary sign, a place to hook the chain for a parking barrier, or part of some other fixture that has since been removed, leaving only the sturdy, inexplicable D-ring behind. Found under my great-grandmother's dresser, this is a small, folded-up piece of paper. My grandmother said it was a ticket to get food from a war a long time ago. Is she right? Your grandmother is exactly right. This is a page or a stamp from a World War II ration book. During the war, many goods, including food, gasoline, and fabric, were in short supply and were needed for the war effort. To ensure a fair distribution, civilians were issued ration books containing a limited number of stamps for various categories of goods. When you bought a rationed item, you had to present your ration book, and the shopkeeper would remove the appropriate stamp. This is a very common and historically significant piece of home front history. What type of vehicle is this? Seen at a gas station. This is an airport vehicle used to push planes out from the gate. It is an aircraft pushback tug. These are very powerful, low-profile, and heavy vehicles. They are used to push an aircraft backward, away from its terminal gate, before it starts its own engines to taxi to the runway. They connect to the aircraft's nose gear with a tow bar. Seeing one at a regular gas station is a bit unusual, as they are typically refueled at the airport, but it may have been driven there for a specific reason. In the movie Akira, 1988, when Tetsuo dreams about childhood, what is this stick-like game drawn? How do you play it? It's a Japanese ladder lottery game called Amida Kuji. To play, you choose one of the starting points at the top and follow the vertical line downwards. Whenever you encounter a horizontal line, you must cross over to the next vertical line and continue downwards. You repeat this until you reach the bottom, where your prize or result is revealed. In this image, the prizes are first prize, idiot, fool, and moron. It is a simple and fun game of chance, often used to decide things randomly. There were 4 of these at the reuse shack today. What are they? The commenter also asks about the batteries. These are portable telescoping stools. They are designed to collapse down into a compact disc-like shape for easy carrying, often with a shoulder strap. To use it, you pull the 2 ends apart, and a series of interlocking plastic segments extends and locks into place, forming a sturdy stool of adjustable height. The question about the batteries is a good one. Some of these stools have a small, battery-powered LED light built into the base, which would be useful for camping or evening events. Ripping up the carpet of an old house. They were between the carpet and the cushy stuff. There are a few more scattered around. It's hard to tell if it was intentional or if something spilled and they just put the carpet over it. These are spacers used to keep the mortar gaps between ceramic floor tiles even. When a tiler is laying a floor, they place these small, plastic, cross-shaped spacers at the corners of the tiles. This ensures that all the grout lines are perfectly uniform and consistent. After the tile adhesive has set, but before the grout is applied, these spacers are removed. The ones you found were likely just left behind by the tile setters who installed a previous floor, and then they were simply covered over when the carpet was installed. What is this? It was found in a tool bag my grandma gave me. There was only wire bending pliers and small jewelry working stuff. A banana is used for scale. This is a nail dotting tool. It is a tool used in nail art. It has a small, rounded metal ball at each end, often of different sizes. The artist dips the ball tip into a drop of nail polish and then uses it to create perfect, uniform dots on the nail. It can also be used to create other small designs, to draw lines, or to place small rhinestones. Its presence with jewelry-making tools is not surprising, as both are detailed, creative crafts. This is a strange caterpillar, about a centimeter long or a bit more. It was found dead in my garage in southeast Georgia. I've never seen one of these before. I think this is a pink-striped oakworm caterpillar. Their colors can vary a little bit. This is the larval stage of a species of moth. As their name suggests, they primarily feed on the leaves of oak trees. They are a common sight in the forests of the eastern United States. They are a harmless guy, and this one has likely just wandered into the garage and died. What is this cake design? I found this cake at Whole Foods. Does anyone know what this design is supposed to be? This cake design is a tribute to the musical and movie Little Shop of Horrors. The large, green, plant-like creature with teeth is a representation of Audrey II, the man-eating alien plant that is the central character of the story. The red blood and the sign saying, "Feed me," are also direct references to the plot, as the plant famously demands to be fed blood. It's a fun and spooky cake design for fans of the cult classic dark comedy. My daughter found it in the mud at our local lake. I'm curious as to what it is and if it could be worth anything. That's one of the Hindu god's idols, specifically an idol of Ganesha. Ganesha is one of the most well-known and widely worshipped deities in the Hindu pantheon, easily recognized by his elephant head. He is revered as the remover of obstacles, the patron of arts and sciences, and the diva of intellect and wisdom. As the commenter notes, it is not worth anything in monetary value, but it is a significant religious and cultural object. It may have been part of a ritual immersion ceremony. What is this? I was given this item. On one side it says, "Use only on 105mm weapons." The other side has MFR 06076. It's cast iron, 9 inches long, and has a bell end that is 4 inches wide. This is an unloading artillery rammer for a 105mm howitzer, as identified by the NSN, the long string of numbers. A rammer is a tool used by an artillery crew to seat a projectile firmly in the breech of the cannon. This specific tool is for unloading. A round that has been loaded but not fired. The bell-shaped end would fit over the nose of the shell, allowing the crew to safely push it back out of the breech. It is a very specific piece of military artillery equipment. Found this in my friend's garage after moving in with him. It's probably been there for 2 decades. I know that it vibrates at a specific frequency, but I just don't know what it's for. This is a tuning fork. A tuning fork is a 2-pronged fork made from a U-shaped bar of elastic metal. When struck, it resonates at a specific constant pitch. They are used by musicians to tune their instruments to a reference note. They are also used in medicine to assess a patient's hearing and in science education to demonstrate the principles of vibration and sound waves. It is a simple but fundamental tool for acoustics. Found on a wall in an old roommate's bathroom. What is this? Someone covered themselves in lotion after a shower, butt cheeks especially. Then they leaned down to pick up a towel and their butt touched the wall. This is a very specific and plausible scenario. The greasy, skin-tone smear on the wall is likely the residue of body lotion or moisturizer that was transferred from a person's skin to the wall. The shape of the 2 marks is consistent with this humorous, if slightly gross, explanation. A wet rag should solve the problem. Is this black mold or some other thing? This is on my closet ceiling. Is it dangerous? It looks like black mold. Regardless of the exact species, it should be gotten rid of as soon as possible. Mold growth indoors is a sign of a moisture problem, such as a roof leak, a plumbing leak, or high humidity. The mold itself can release spores into the air, which can cause allergic reactions, asthma attacks, and other respiratory problems. The source of the moisture must be fixed, and the mold needs to be properly remediated by a professional. I hate being a sports fan and not knowing what these stats mean. This is an explanation of American-style sports betting odds. A negative number, like 162 for the Oilers, indicates the favorite. It means you need to bet $162 to win $100. A positive number, like +136 for the Canucks, indicates the underdog. It means if you bet $100, you will win $136. The numbers are all based on a $100 bet to make them easy to compare. A player prop with a very large positive number, like $3 to win MVP, means they are a huge long shot and very unlikely to win, but the payout would be enormous. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit that like button and subscribe. Stay curious. More finds coming soon.